This video will wow you. Officially, the Ripple vs. SEC case is over. Yes, you heard correctly. Our prayers have been heard. Furthermore, this is only the beginning. There will be significant changes soon. According to experts, XRP's price might rise above $500 in a few short hours. Quite awesome, isn't it? Don't pass up the opportunity to become wealthy. Let's get right to the point without further ado. Disclaimer: the community surrounding XRP is waiting. This time, though, it's not fear. The lengthy legal dispute between Ripple and the SEC is finally coming to an end after years of courtroom drama, legal fights, and regulatory uncertainty. The SEC's appeal against Ripple has been formally delayed by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. Crypto attorney James Phelan shared the order, which verified that both parties had asked for the lawsuit to be put on pause. The court concurred, pausing all further action. This indicates that the case is nearing its conclusion, even though it does not officially conclude. The Ripple litigation is over, according to Lord XRP's article on X, and he might not be mistaken. For holders of XRP who have endured years of uncertainty and price suppression linked directly to the SEC's allegations, this is a historic occasion. The SEC filed a lawsuit against Ripple in 2020, alleging that the company marketed unregistered securities in the form of XRP. Since then, the case has come to represent the larger conflict in the U.S. between governmental overreach and crypto innovation. Legal professionals are now commenting on the appeal on ice and what will happen next. The next step, according to attorney Fred Rispoli, would probably be in district court, where Ripple may try to change the previous summary judgment decision made by Judge Annalisa Torres. The fact that XRP is not a security in secondary sales was already made clear by that ruling, indicating that there are no legal violations for regular investors who trade XRP on exchanges. For Ripple and the cryptocurrency community at large, it was a significant victory. The internal developments from Ripple itself are far more illuminating. The SEC has agreed to reduce Ripple's financial penalty from $125 million to $50 million, according to a recent confirmation from the company's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderode. That is a significant cut and an indication that even the SEC is prepared to move on from this case. Additionally, it is anticipated that the regulator would ask for the injunction that prevented Ripple from selling XRP to institutional investors to be lifted. For Ripple and its enterprise-focused solutions, that action might open up an entirely new stage of growth. In a single statement, Crypto Geek encapsulated the entire transformation. The SEC offers Ripple a settlement. The market is being told that the battle is nearly done and that peace is imminent by this term, which signifies the beginning of the end. However, as the legal disputes slow down, XRP's momentum is beginning to pick up steam. The introduction of TU Cream's first XRP leverage ETF in the US is among the most exciting recent events. The company's most successful ETF launch to date indicates that institutional investors are becoming more eager to expose themselves to XRP, this time with certainty and clarity. It's useful to consider what an ETF is in order to comprehend why this matters. Let's say you wish to make real estate investments but are not interested in purchasing a home. Rather than dealing with the inconvenience of property ownership, you invest in a real estate fund that tracks property values. For assets like stocks, gold, or now XRP, that is what an ETF accomplishes. What to consider. What an ETF accomplishes, without having to deal with wallets, keys, or cryptocurrency exchanges, it enables big investors to have exposure to XRP. It enables XRP to be accessed via the well-known financial industry infrastructure, and that changes everything. Assets like XRP move from speculation to usefulness due to institutional acceptance. More institutional products and funds will probably begin integrating XRP, either directly into payment systems or through ETFs, now that the legal haze is dissipating. This is the blessing Ripple has been waiting for a coin designed with speed, scalability, and cross-border utility in mind. Although the lawsuit is officially still pending, it is clearly headed in the right direction. The SEC no longer has the upper hand. Ripple has survived the upheaval. Additionally, XRP is at last moving into the future for which it was created. As a major player in the global financial system, not as a question mark in a court of law. Crazy, huh? Ripple is finally escaping the years of uncertainty, and it's at the most ideal moment. This release isn't your typical crypto update. This is a momentous occasion. This is the most bullish signal XRP has ever seen, according to cryptocurrency analysts, as Wall Street prepares and the SEC backs off. You're not prepared for the following step. There's a solid reason why the XRP community is buzzing more than ever. Something is changing. Denny Cerezo made a bold claim after pointing out that gold is breaking out hard in a tweet that has now gone viral. Next up is XRP. Sound money simply takes turns, it never dies. Perhaps he is correct. Perhaps it's XRP's turn now. Let's pause and consider our current situation. In a sense, the FCC case is ended. The appeal has been put on hold. The fine for Ripple is being lowered. The road is getting clearer. We are seeing XRP emerge from the legal shadow it has been living in for many years. What about the end of the tunnel? It resembles institutional adoption quite a bit. This is where things get crazy though. Even though XRP is now trading at about $2, the community's expectations are rising faster than ever. A $10 target is what some investors are aiming for. However, there are also voices like the Rippler whales who say, "I'm getting ready for $500 per XRP. It's not a typo. Each token is worth $500. And even if that may seem ridiculous to some, there is merit to the attitude that underlies it. Remember, everyone was whining when XRP was just trading at 49 cents a few months ago. Then in January, it soared to above $3 before leveling out. We're back to the $2 range now. And what's going on? More annoyance, more nervousness. People will weep for $100 once XRP hits $50, according to Eduardo Farina. And the truth is that there will always be those who argue that XRP ought to be higher, regardless of how much it rises. Let's zoom out though. XRP has increased by more than 327% in the past year. In contrast, Ethereum has experienced a 48% annual decline. After 7 years of consolidation, repression and skepticism, XRP is leading instead of trailing. Moreover, the XRP community's rising sentiment is a factor. In the next 3 to 6 months, XRP millionaires will be created, Steph tweeted. Then there was that now famous parody post about Elon Musk. There will be money soon. It might be a joke. It might not be. However, the story is changing. Will XRP survive? Is no longer the only question people have. How high can it go, they ask. And even with all of the forecasts, charts and conjecture, the answer to that question may not come until later. Here's what we currently know though. XRP is once again in the news. The fog of law is lifting. The doors of institutions are opening. Additionally, history has repeatedly demonstrated that when money travels, it moves quickly. Isn't that interesting? It gets better though. Let's discuss Ripple's strong alliances, which are a positive indication you shouldn't ignore. Ripple is quietly laying the groundwork to dominate global finance, attracting the attention of major technology companies and central banks alike. This is real. It's not just hype. Keep an eye on things because they have the potential to drastically alter XRP's future. Thus, one of the most intriguing developments for Ripple and its community is the possible inclusion of XRP into the SWIFT infrastructure. The cryptocurrency market has been rocked by the rumor that several banks are now testing XRP under SWIFT's framework. Though unverified, this is not mere conjecture. It has far-reaching consequences. Now let's dissect it to see why. An astounding $5 trillion in cross-border